And allowing the mind to follow the breath so that if any extraneous ideas come into your mind, you let them go with the exhale. And then bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at the heart center. And as you inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. And exhale back to the heart. 2 more times like that. Inhale. And exhale. And as you do this, just notice how you feel around the neck, the shoulders, the arms, and the breath. And then bring your arms back down and come back to your breath, inhaling and exhaling a slow, deep, smooth breath. And let the belly be really expansive. So really pulling the breath down, inhaling and exhaling here. This inhale and exhale. And then just float your arms down to the side. And we're going to inhale the right arm and lift the arm from the elbow. Sort of bring the shoulder back and lift just about shoulder height, and then exhale, leading with the shoulder. Leading with the elbow. Inhale, the elbow lifts, and exhale, it lowers. And relax your hands. Let the hands be really fluid. And just notice how it feels when you are in your arm in this way. And make sure your breath is following this. So it's a continuous, right? Just this continuous inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Really focusing on the breath. And the next time the arm comes down, just stay here and breathe. Notice if your right side feels different from the left. And then we'll move to the other side. Inhaling, the left arm comes up. And exhale down. Inhale, the elbow comes back and up, and exhale down. So as you start out on the left side, you'll notice it may feel different. But just stay with this fluid movement. Make sure the hands are relaxed and you're leading with the elbow both on the up and back on the down. Inhaling here and exhaling. And then bring this to a close. And again, just stop and really allow yourself to receive the VPOC, the energetic after effect of that arm movement. And then go ahead and lengthen the spine, and we're just going to work on engaging the root lock and the pit of the belly. So inhale, engage, cohesing the energy, and then exhale, press the sits bones, release the bandhas. Inhale, engage, and exhale, release. So keeping that slow, deep belly breath, even though you're tensioning into the belly with the root lock, the pit of the belly, and the respiratory diaphragm. You want to really slow down and make room for all of that. And then slowly let this turn into cat-cow. So engaging the root, lock the belly, and let the pelvis lead and the spine just follows. And then press the sits bones, lengthen the spine and open the heart center. And inhaling, cohesing the root lock, the pit of the belly curving forward in that cat, and the slow fluid lengthening, opening the heart center in your cow. A few more times like this. And then let this morph into slow, deep, holographic. Notice the neck and the shoulders in here. Get some heart center opening into it. Just moving through in this three-dimensional way. And part of the reason we use holographic wave, so bring that to a close, just sit up nice and tall. Part of the reason we use holographic wave is to break up old habitual patterns in our bodies that are not serving us well. Now, bring your hands down to the side and float this right elbow up. And this time bring it all the way up. And then bring this little wave into it, waving the hand, and then reach. And then bend the elbow and float the arm back down. And then bring the left arm up, and as it comes over the shoulder, you can bring some holographic wave and reach. And then bending the elbow, floating it back down. So just going from side to side, this is inhale, lifting up, little wave, and then at the top there's this reach, and then this exhale, this slow, really feminine, wavy movement back down. And the right arm up, waving it. Sorry, your left arm here, and reach, and then letting it float down. So see if you can just get this slow, really wavy, fluid motion, and it might feel a little uncomfortable to the mind, but this is sort of a dance like nobody's watching sort of a thing. Nobody's watching, nobody cares what you're doing. Give yourself permission to explore being in your body in this way, this free form, sort of fluid floating. And this is much more feminine movement than a lot of what we consider more classic yoga practices, only because the forms of yoga that were introduced to the United States were brought by men, and they tend to be more masculine forms, but all forms of yoga are valid. We'll go one more time, the left arm just floating, this free, like little tendrils, and then this little reach, and then floating down. And then again, just stay here, just turn your palms forward, lengthen your spine, and your heart center is right here. Make sure it's open, feel that opening. And ears are over the shoulders, and just take a few breaths here. This is a receiving mode. The palms are turn upward and forward so that you can receive the energetic after effect of that practice. And then release that. And we'll make our way down onto our mat, onto our back. And once you're down here, go ahead and release. Be ashamed to disappear. Make sure your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the floor. Bring your arms down to the side. And again, just take a few breaths here. Notice how you feel. And then release. So if your shoulders are pulled forward like this, see if you can release the tops of the shoulders down. Again, opening the heart center. And then lift your head up and tuck your chin down towards your chest. You're going to bring the occiput, this lumpy on the back of your head. You want to bring that straight down to the mat so the back of the neck is long. And then just bring your right knee into the chest, bring your right hand on top of the right knee. We're going to start with hip circles, so making these nice, slow circles. So just getting some gentle fluid motion into the hip joint in this way. And then go ahead and reverse, going back the other way. And then bring that to a close and slowly lower the right knee. Bring your hands down to your side. Stay still, take a few breaths. Notice the difference between the right and the left side. And then bringing the left knee into the chest, left hand on the kneecap, making big hip circles here. And then whenever you're ready, you can reverse, going back the other way. And then bring that to a close and lower that left foot down to the mat. Bring your arms out to the sides. And again, just take a few deep breaths. And we're going to go into opposing legs. We're going to leave our arms out of it for now. So just bring your right knee into the chest, flex the foot, press it up to the ceiling. And then bend the knee and float the foot down to the mat. And then the left knee, bend it into the chest, straighten, and bend and lower. So this is a fairly two-dimensional flow, but just see if you can bring some of that more fluid, energetic into it. So really slowing it down. Inhale as the knee comes in and the leg straightens. Exhale as you bend and lower. And really try to slow the breath down and pull it down into the belly. One more time each side. And then bring that to a close and just take a few breaths here. And then bring your arms down to the side. And as you inhale, so bend your elbows just a little bit. Just inhale, float the arms up, and exhale, float them down. And so instead of that straight arm movement, we're just going to let the elbows lead the up movement and let the elbows lead the back movement. So Chakra came on Zoom this weekend, and she led some of these practices where you're bending the elbow, and you can feel how the whole arm sort of plays into it rather than just isolated muscles in the shoulders. So go ahead and bring your hands back down to your side and breathe here. And she just explains that there's a lot of holding in the heart center right now, and that can transmit to the upper back, and that working with the arms in this way helps release that. So we'll go opposing arms and legs, bringing your right knee in, and again, let the elbow lead, and you can let your arms sort of do a drifty, floaty thing if you want. And then the left leg, right arm, just sort of let it flow. And it kind of slows the movement down, almost as if you're, like if you've ever seen those time-lapse photography where you'll see like a little bean plant sprouting up. That's sort of what this arm movement reminds me of. Opposing arms and legs. And you can intersperse this with some of the straighter, more two-dimensional kind of movements. And then if you want, you can go back to the more fluid arms. It's up to you. Just moving through this in a way that makes you feel more grounded, more connected to yourself, and more of a heart center opening where you're better prepared to simply stay in the present time so that you're connected to your life as it unfolds in the moment. Go one more time each side. And the next time your hand and foot are on the mat, stay here, relax and breathe, inhaling and exhaling. So now we're going to move into some bridge poses, and we're just going to, first of all, we're just going to work the root lock a little bit. So laying here, engage the root lock. So lift up on the muscles of the pelvic floor and draw the navel in. And you might feel your pelvis tip like a little cat, little beginning of a cat stretch. And then exhale, release. Inhale, engage the root lock, draw the navel in. You might feel your tailbone lift up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, and it releases back down. Just do that a few more times. And this root lock work is good for the physiology. It's good for to work those muscles of the pelvic floor and the deep muscles of the belly. But it also is anchoring. You're working into Muladhara chakra, or the root chakra. And the chakras are built sort of like Maslow's hierarchy. So the lower the chakra, the more basic the function that it's accountable for. And so the root chakra is involved in survival sorts of things. And then the next chakra is responsible for creativity. So it's where the reproductive organs are. Shavasana, it's called. So you're working Muladhara, Shavasana chakras, and those chakras are very grounding and basic. So go ahead and just bring that to a close and take a few breaths. And it might even make you feel sort of sleepy and relaxed as your energy comes down and connects you. A lot of times when there's too much activity and too much change, our energy just sort of takes us up and out of the body. We can't settle in, and we're just trying to settle in a little bit here. Now, engage the root lock, the pit of the belly. Feel that little pelvic rock press into the feet and just lift up, and then exhale and release back down. And we're just going to do this. Try to keep the back of the neck long, and the weight will sort of come over the shoulders and then back down. And we're more interested in engaging the bandhas and a smooth ride up and a smooth ride down. That's what we're most interested in here. You're lifting from the root lock and the pit of the belly. Engaging those muscle groups to activate the chakras that will keep you grounded and in touch with what it is that you need to feel secure and protected. And isn't it interesting to have some creativity needs met also? Go one more time, engaging the bandhas and lifting, and then exhale down, and then be still. Notice where you're holding tension. Release, 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 and then a little bit of rocking from side to side here. And then go ahead and bring that to a close. And now we're going to do the same thing. And this time we're going to bring the arms into it. So if you're not familiar with this, before you come into it, just watch me one time. You're just going to lift your arms and lift the hips here. And then exhale back down, just like that. Okay? So here we go. Engage the root lock, the pit of the belly, lift from the navel center, the arms come up and over, the chin tucks. Make sure you're looking up at the ceiling and not at your screen. And then exhale, release the arms, release. Inhale, engage the bandhas, lift up, you're looking up at the ceiling, and the chin sort of tucks as the chest rises up to meet you. And then exhale back down. Keep going like this, inhaling up and exhaling down. A few more times. And the next time you're flat on the mat, stay here. And just straighten one leg and then the other. Let the feet be about shoulder distance apart. And then lace your hands together here. Press the hands up to the ceiling. Point your toes. And then bring your arms up overhead. Now if this hurts, just bend the elbows a little bit. But if you can straighten them, you can do that. And just stay here, take a few breaths. And then lift the arms back up, bend the elbows, and bring your hands down, and bend the knees. And bring the knees into the chest. And we're going to make big hip circles go in one direction. And then we're going to reverse this, making big hip circles going in the opposite way. And then bring that to a close. And lace your fingers over your right shin, flex both feet, straighten the left leg, and slowly lower that left leg down to the mat. And then take your left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand down by your hip. And we're just going to twist over onto the left hip and come back to center. We're just going to keep going like this, coming onto the left hip, bringing the right knee across the body and back to center. Bringing the right knee across the body, lengthening the spine, twisting here and back to center. A few more times here. And the next time you're on your back, stay here. Now, lace your fingers over the right shin, hug the knee in, and flex both feet. And just lift your left leg straight up to the ceiling, and bring your right leg next to it, coming into Supta Dandasana. And then bend the left knee into the chest, lace your fingers over the left shin, flex both feet. Lower the right leg down with the foot flexed, the leg strong and straight. And now you're going to take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Your left hand comes down by your side over here. And rolling over onto the right hip, bringing the left knee across the body, twisting at the waist. And then rolling back onto your back. Take your time. Let the body tell you how far over to come and when to roll back onto the back. Just move at a pace that is comfortable, that let your body call you to move and to be still, and then respond to the call. One more time, twisting onto the right hip. One more time, coming back onto your back, and then go ahead and hug the left knee into the chest, flex both feet, lift the right leg straight up, and let the left leg join it, staying in the Supta Dandasana, reaching through the heels, breathing here. And then bend the knees and lower one foot and then the other, and gently rock the knees from side to side. And then bring this to a close and go ahead and heel toe your feet out. And we're going to go into a nice slow windshield wiper. So you're going to bring your right knee in towards the left, and then bring the left knee over to the left. Lift the right knee. When the left knee has to follow, let the left knee follow. Then it overtakes. It internally rotates to the right instep, and the right knee comes over to the right. And then lifting the left knee, the right knee follows, and then it takes over. So just keep moving through this. This is a great way to, again, get into the hip rotators, get into the hip joint. And there's also a little bit of a twist in this. And then when you're ready, bring that to a close and heel toe your feet in. And then bring your right knee in and just kind of for fun, just sort of floaty your leg up there, similarly to how we did our arms. Just sort of do some free floating movement with your leg and then reach through the heel, flex the foot, point and flex the toe. And then make big ankle circles going in one direction. And then reverse, making big ankle circles going in the opposite direction. And then flex the foot, reach through the heel, bend the knee in, float the right foot down to the mat and breathe here. And then we're going to do the same thing with the left leg, just sort of do some free flowing movement of the left leg all up and down and around. And then straighten the leg, reach through the heel, flex the foot, and go ahead and point and flex the toes. And then flex the foot, reach through the heel, and go ahead and make big ankle circles going in one direction. And then you can reverse, making big ankle circles going in the opposite direction. And then flex the foot, reach through the heel, and then bend that left knee into the chest and float the foot down to the mat. And gently rock the knees from side to side. Slow, deep breaths into the belly. And we're going to take a happy baby pose. So bring your knees into your chest. So if you do happy baby and you know how, you can just go ahead and take the pose. But if you don't do happy baby regularly, or if it's difficult for you, stick with me. So bring your knees into the chest, and you want the soles of the feet pointing up towards the ceiling, and you can just bring your hands right here to support your legs. And you can stay here, or you can bring your hands under your thighs and pull your knees down towards your armpits here if you want. And then if you want to take it a little further, take your hands to the insides of the legs and slide them up and wrap the hands around the soles of your feet. And then you can gently pull the knees down and then press into your hands with your feet. Lengthen the back. So make sure you're not doing this hyperextension of the neck. Make sure the back of the head is on the mat. And I like to just stay here and breathe and let my muscles release. But if you want to rock back and forth like this, you can do that. Some people really enjoy that massage into the kidney area. So just staying here. Wherever you are in your happy baby, if this is it for you, that's perfectly fine. And if this isn't available, just do some Apanasana, exhaling, hugging the knees in, and inhaling, bringing the knees forward. And when you're ready, just hug the knees, lower one foot and then the other. Straighten your legs out, and we'll make our way into Shavasana. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, allowing the mind to follow the breath.